Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is Somerset Farms episode 14. And in the last episode, we had planted some sunflowers on several of our other fields, and we had basically just said we weren't sure what we wanted to do here, but we had the planter ready and it's all cultivated, so we should probably plant something on it. And the choice was soybeans or sunflowers. And I didn't get a whole lot of responses to the comments, and I've been thinking about it, and it just makes sense for us to do more sunflowers. I would like to diversify, but this first year, if we're going to get that oil factory up and running, we probably want to do that with as many sunflowers and can't unfold it, can't do whatever. So let's unfold this, then we'll lower it, then we'll turn it on. So anyway, yes, we're going to plant sunflowers up here on this field as well. So now we'll have 4 fields of sunflowers and 2 fields of canola, but I think that's the right call. I just really do. Because this will keep that oil factory running for more of the year than it would if we just planted soybeans and then we just had to sell the soybeans because we didn't really know what else to do with them. So, and again, I love this planter for the width that it does and the way that it works on the field. What I don't love about this planter is that the tank is so small. So we've got our other tractor on standby with another bag of seeds over near our fields 33 and 34. And we'll be running some seeds back over here to fill this up because this is going to take obviously more than the 600 liters of seeds we were able to put in there. But for actual planting, it does a great job on doing basically 3 times the work that we were doing on our tiny little planter. So I feel good about where we're at here. We'll go ahead and get this one planted up with sunflowers and kind of work our way across like so. Do I really want to box this in yet? I think I'm going to leave this bottom part open and we'll always turn around at the grass line. And we'll try to straighten this out here shortly. Get just zoomed in a little bit for that tree there. And it's at the edge, pretty close. And so what are we doing? 156? 156, 157. We're getting pretty good coverage. Definitely not a square field. That's okay. We were able to do pretty much 156 all the way across. So I'm going to leave that little gap. You can see on the left, maybe 1 row's worth. But that allows us to square this off. I say with this bend on the top here, it's better for me to go north and south like this. I'll get straighter rows, and then we can just stop when we hit our headland that we did up here in the beginning. So if I was real good at this, I would have done these north and south rows first. So we should be somewhere around 336. But we're getting quite a bit of overlap. Was my angle that far back? Yeah, we're overlapping a lot. What did I do? Let's pick this up. Let's head back to the top. And I don't like this because I can't quite see. But so we should be right around 336 coming down. So we'll start here. We'll replant this section. And hopefully that will line up pretty close. Yeah, we're missing a bunch too. I probably should have just kept going on that row and then came back. We're going to miss this whole section of the field right there. All right, well, not my best planting. We'll get turned around here and we'll straighten it out. Yeah, somehow, don't know what happened there. And that's too much missed. We're going to go ahead and run the planter up here. This is what you don't want to do, is waste a bunch of time doing a row you already did. But at least we know we went 336 and came all the way down. So if we get to the top and overlap, we should get another 336 all the way down. I don't know what. I confused myself, probably because I was talking and planting at the same time. But anyway. But as you can see, we're already down to 62% remaining in our planter for seeds. So we're going to have to refill this seeder a couple of times to get across this big field. So there's my edge. And our angle was 336. So I'm going to just overlap a little bit to be safe. I don't want to do that again. Yeah, and there's a 336. Because, yeah, I feel like I'm overlapping a ton. Which is what made me turn around and do that last time, but then we had to go back and do a whole row again, so I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Did not have this issue on the smaller fields, but we'll just see what happens. So it is April now. This was the second month that we could plant sunflowers, I believe. So we went ahead and did that, and then we'll have time to go back and roll. Because I believe we rolled the other fields in March. Yeah, this is much better coverage-wise. I need to mark the left side. So I'm going downhill, it just looks, the sun is bouncing off the field in a way that I'm having trouble seeing it. Compared to going uphill, I can see it very clearly where the edge is. And yeah, I'm missing a couple of little dots there, but that's fine. But overlapping 3 rows is not fine. Wouldn't work in real life because you'd end up wasting a lot of seeds and double planting, and maybe having some rows pop out with twice as much crop, and then that crop wouldn't be successful because it'd be fighting for nutrients with its neighbor crop, with its brother crop, whatever. So here we are, we're doing these angles on field 40, and I do want to just check, did we get needs rolling? Yeah, we rolled 33, 34, and 18 last episode, so we'll get all this planted, and then we'll have to come back and roll it as well. We can turn weeds back on and just see. I don't think we're getting any weeds on any of our fields yet. We sprayed 36 and 15, that's why they look brown, but 34, 35, or 33, 34, and 18 don't have any weeds, and we do need rolling here on 40. Okay. All right, so I'm lined up a little bit better, I think. I don't know, we'll see. 336. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, we're overlapping 1 row, but that's okay. 1 row is fine. 3 or 4 rows is not fine. But anyway, we'll get this planted, we'll get this rolled. Honestly, that'll probably take most of this episode, but then we'll be ready to move forward for our harvesting of the canola. And that'll be about the time we'll put in the oil factory. So things are coming together here. I'm really, really happy with the fields we chose. And I know we've been over this before, but we're getting like with the soil sampling and precision farming here, we really can tell which ones are going to be the best fields yield wise, and we've kind of nabbed them. So it's a little bit of a awkward farmyard setup, but this map isn't that big, so it's not like it's a giant pain to drive your equipment, you know, from one end to the other to get to our fields. And we've got kind of we've got a main yard over on the east side where we've got those sheds, and also where we can sell things, because the sell point is right there in the little armpit of field 15 that we've settled in. But we have a secondary yard over here by 34, 33, and this field 40. And I really like having that secondary yard where we can leave some equipment like we do with the tractor that has the seed bags right now. That is working out really well. And honestly, I'm liking 33, 34 and this field almost more than the ones we started with. Hard to say about the one that we planted canola on, not 15, but the other big one. Not 18 either, the other one. Whatever it is. That big field. I think I'm going to really like that field too once we get it going, but we planted it so long ago in this series, and then we haven't done anything with it because it's basically just sat. So it'll be interesting to harvest that and then kind of work that field and then see what we kind of want to do going forward with that one. That one's the one that's kind of, it bridges the gap between 15 and 18 and all of these in the 30s. But it is not connected to anything else, and it doesn't have a yard anywhere near it. So we have to haul all the equipment over there and then haul all the equipment back to one of the 2 yards. So that's the one field that doesn't really fit in. And fit in is such an arbitrary word anyway, but doesn't quite feel like it's connected to the other ones as much. But it does kind of, it's sort of the glue that holds the farm together, so to speak. So it's not like we're getting rid of it or anything. And that one's got a pretty good yield bonus on it as well, from that loamy sand and the loam. So again, feeling really good about the farm setup that we have, and I think we're going to get quite the productive yield from our crops in these first couple of harvests. And then we'll really have to decide what we want to do with this series after that, because it's like we're going to make a ton of oil already, because we're not going to sell any of these crops immediately. We're going to continue to buy crops. Nope, crops isn't the right word there. We're going to continue to grow crops and buy fields probably to just keep expanding that operation. But I really feel like a bigger harvester is probably in order at some point in time. But that's just me worrying about that little 5-meter harvester in these giant fields of sunflowers. So we're going to see how the harvest of the canola goes. We did buy the harvester that harvests the corn and sunflower header for our little harvester. So we do have the equipment to do it. So we might as well harvest at least one batch of sunflowers with that, since we paid for that header anyway. And it might be nice to have 2 harvesters going on the field at once. That's something I haven't really done a lot of. And in this series, we actually have the cash for it, because they gave us $1.5 million and all the equipment. So we haven't had to buy a ton of equipment. We spent most of our money on the land. But I can just, like, I'm really hoping something comes up in the sales harvester wise, because I would definitely, if we got a good deal on a bigger harvester, I would take it. I would jump on that, because I just think we're going to be harvesting for days. So it's either going to be like 6 straight episodes of me harvesting, or I'm going to have to harvest a bunch off camera and show you guys. And I don't really want to do that either. This series, you guys have kind of seen every little bit that I've done for the most part. And so I want to keep this one running that way with precision farming. But we'll see how it goes. So that's kind of where I'm at with what we want to do next here. But so far, you know, this, I thought we were going to have to refill this thing multiple times, but we're making good progress. We are down to 67 liters of seed, so we're clearly going to have to refill it before we're done, but we're probably only going to have to refill it once, which is nice. I thought we were going to have to refill it at least twice. So again, this seeder is really doing the job. I'm very happy with it, and as long as we're doing canola and sunflowers, this is kind of the seeder that we need. Like, this does all that, and it does soybeans. So obviously, if we switch to a crop, the first one we switch to will be soybeans, just because we don't have to buy new equipment to plant with that. But we will see if that truly works out or not. I was like, if we only have one row left, we might make it. But no, we're going to have to fill up just for this tiny little corner bit here. To get the most out of this last strip on the way up. Or we could just leave it unplanted. Seems kind of silly. But do we really want to run seeds all the way over here for one strip on the end? I mean, yeah, I think we probably do, but 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 liters. So we'll turn the planter off. Yeah, this just seems like a waste of field if we don't run anything up here. The top is pretty narrow, but down here, I mean, it's clearly a full row. We won't do that last little bit there, but we will do this one. So let's go ahead and open this. Plenty of fertilizer. See, that's the thing. I thought this held a lot more. It holds a ton of fertilizer, but not a ton of seeds. So let's get over to this guy. And we will get this bag of seeds. Our crops are looking real good over here on 34. I like those rows. Let's just bring this right behind here since we're already lined up. Now, I should know this, but I don't know if I have to set it down or not to refill. I do not. 400. Alright, let's get this tractor out of the way. Whoops. Not mean to drive through that. I was going to just try to back up parallel to it, but that clearly didn't work. Let's just park this over here to get it out of the way. So we got our little case here. This is our McCormick. And we'll go ahead and close that. Turn this on. Lower it down. And get our last little strip. Yeah, and we will leave this last little bit over here unplanted on that corner, but otherwise done a pretty good job, except for that first row where I really messed it up. But otherwise, doing pretty good. So, let's check our map. Yep, 40 is pretty much planted, needs rolling, but looks good. So let's go ahead and turn this off. We're going to unfold it on the road here. Then detach. And we'll take this piece of equipment all the way back to the main yard now, because we don't need it over here again for a while till we get this sunflower harvest done. We'll need it on the canola fields first anyway. So let's take it all the way back home. So these two fields on the right, 33 and 34 are ours. They're both popping up with sunflowers and looking good. This in front of us is our little yard. And we do keep some equipment here, but this planter doesn't fit entirely into that yard anyway. It sticks out when you put it in under the awning, so we might as well just take this all the way back home. This field right in front of us here is our canola field 36. That's what it was. I couldn't remember the number when I was talking about it earlier. 36 is looking good. It's going to be ready to harvest here shortly. And then we will have to decide what we want to do from there. So, all right. And then those little apartments ahead of us, if we drive between them, that leads to field 18, which is over there. You can kind of see it off to the right. That was an impulse field. I don't really care that much about 18. We do have it planted because it didn't take hardly anything to plant it with sunflowers, and we have a tiny harvester so we can get back there and harvest it, so no reason not to, but not my favorite field. It's not a lot of work, but it's work, and the yield is going to be pretty small just because of the acreage there, like just the amount of land. But regardless, there it is on the right, field 18, also planted with sunflowers. So that's our 1, 2, 3, 4th field with sunflowers. And then here's 15. And like I said, our yard is kind of in the armpit there. But this is field 15. God, a lot of equipment there. I don't know, can I back this in here? It's a terrible camera angle when the building is in the way. Yep, backing that in here, and let's just straighten this out. And leave that one ready to go. This McCormick is real dirty. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and slurry corn header. Yeah, nothing there. Let's go to tools, get ourselves a power washer. And kind of in this nook between the two buildings will be out of the way. But look at how ridiculous this McCormick looks right now. So let's get this done. McCormick did good. Planted 4 fields with the sunflowers with that new planter. It deserves to be cleaned and stowed away. We don't really need this much horsepower for that roller. So you can get that weight cleaned off. Definitely see some chipped paint on the McCormick, but that's okay. Otherwise, it's doing all right. Yep. But that already looks 1,000 times better. So let's get I am tempted just because we're here and the roller's here. I don't really want to drive Yeah, let's just do it. I was gonna I don't really want to drive that case all the way back over here just to have to drive it all the way back over there. That's not good. Good entertainment for you guys, just to see me driving back and forth. When we have a tractor here that's ready to go, we'll fold that up. And we'll head back out. So how you guys doing? Are you enjoying the series so far? What would you like to see more of? I know we're doing a ton of crops right now, but we're getting really good data with the precision farming, and we'll go through that once we get some harvest data too. But I'm feeling really good about the crops and trying to take this one in a slightly different direction than some of the other series I've done. Haven't really done sunflowers ever before. Now we're doing 4 fields of them. Hello, guys. Sorry about that. Should have looked. You go ahead. You go ahead, red van. You go ahead, blue car. And then I will come in behind you. So sunflowers I'm excited to do because I haven't really done that on FS22 yet. So that'll be an interesting change. I haven't really made oil either. I did have one other map way back when I started the game where I bought the oil factory that was already on the map and dumped like a load of canola oil into it, or canola into it, that I had harvested just to see, but I don't think I played that to the point where I was actually harvesting and doing anything with the actual canola oil itself. So sorry, I got distracted by field 35. What's going on here? Oh, it's corn. I was like, it looks really nice, but it was planted today. Alright. Well, I don't really need corn. I have the header for it, so I could buy that, but why? We got enough fields for now. It's like if that's an empty field that's just been cultivated, meh, it's right here across from our yard, I could be convinced, but we've got enough. I think the harvest is going to pretty much take over this channel pretty soon once we get to that point. So we'll see. All right, while that's unfolding, this definitely says needs rolling. Nitrogen is bad. Nitrogen means fertilizer. See, this is what I don't understand. We literally had a planter that could fertilize. How does it look for fertilization? Oh yeah, that's not on this menu. I keep forgetting. I'm doing one series with it, one series without it. So pH is fine. Nitrogen, no, nitrogen's good. I don't know, that section must have just been bad. Anyway. I mean, I would just love any feedback you guys have about what's going on the series so far, and how, if you want to see more of that, less of that. I mean, obviously we're going to have to see this canola sunflower harvest through to start, but then I guess technically we're in year 2. In year 3, we're really open to do whatever we want, depending on how that oil is going. I don't think there's a second production stage for oil. I think you just make the oil and you sell it, and you just get a better yield for that. So we'll have to figure out what month the oil sells better in, and where we're going to store it, and how we're going to haul it. But once we figure out those details, it really is just going to be kind of a self-sustaining system. And then soybeans, I'm pretty sure, is the other crop that we can do with the equipment that we have without too much trouble. Mainly the planter being the issue there. Not that we couldn't buy a big planter if we wanted to go wheat or barley, but I don't think we do. So we've got these soybeans. I don't know what production building even takes soybeans, if there is one, or if it is literally just made for feeding pigs. Like, is that what soybeans, their production supply would be pigs? So I don't know. Like, that's, pigs eat pretty much anything. but you have to mix quite a bit of it to get them going. So I don't know that that's really the direction we want to go. I think we'd probably be better just continuing to be a crop farmer for a while and seeing where that will get us. But I'm open to suggestions if you guys think something different, you know, or if there's just something else you want to see. But this is, I'm really enjoying the kind of the maximizing the precision farming. What can we get out of these fields if we really, really try? If we do the extra steps like rolling after we plant, if we do the extra steps in precision farming, and we buy the fields that just have the best yield bonuses like we have. So we're doing soil sampling and we're, you know, trying to make the most out of the soil that we have, but trying to make sure we buy fields that have good soil, so we're going to get that extra bit of yield. It's an interesting approach. And again, I didn't play precision farming very much in FS19 because I'm on console, and I don't know that it ever came out on console in FS19, or if it did, I had stopped playing at that point. But I'm pretty sure it didn't come out because I never heard anything about it till FS22. Couple of the YouTube farmers that I watch were playing it, but it was always on PC, and I didn't really understand. And that's the whole thing too. I didn't care for seasons in FS19. Everybody was talking about, wow, seasons is great, seasons is great. But again, that's on the PC. It never came to the console. And I was like, I don't really want seasons. I like my farm sim the way it is. And then FS22 is all seasons, and it's pretty good. I like it. But it's been a difference maker, a different experience to try to fight the calendar and figure out how we want to kind of control our farm and rotate our crops and do all that stuff. So again, you get out of it what you make out of it, basically. Like, so, you know, but again, it's what you have access to when you play on a console versus a PC. There's a lot of crazy mods out there. Like, I would love to try GPS, but it's just not going to make it to the console from what I understand. And that's fine. Like, you've seen me do it plenty of times where I'll square off a section of the field and then I'll let the worker go nuts, trying to get those taken care of. So I've kind of learned to work within the parameters of the console as given, which is fine, is working for me. But, you know, some people are not okay with that, and they want access to everything, you know, day one. Then they're probably PC players because they can get access to most of those things. And I don't know, I've seen some really cool videos on, like, using GPS with multiple harvesters. So you get like 2 or 3 harvesters running, and then you can get routes set up for unloading, and you can kind of automate the whole thing. I mean, that is kind of cool, but I don't know that it's necessary. I'd like to do, at some point in time, multiple harvesters on the same field and just see what that's like. Again, that's not quite the same thing. But we're probably going to be able to do that in this series with just some workers. So like if I basically, I guess what I'm imagining is if we buy a bigger harvester with a wider header and we kind of set that going, you know, on our squaring off the field. So we're like doing like legit like 90 and 270, or if we're going 360 and 180. Depending on how the fields are set up. So I'm going to kind of overlap a little bit here to try to straighten that out. I could do that because I could basically get the big harvester, like dig out with the little harvester so I can get the big harvester in there, then just send the biggest harvester on a up and down route on the field. I'm doing hand motions here, but obviously nobody can see those. Because this is not that kind of video. But then I could use the little one, the 5-meter header on our small harvester to cut the edges. So it's like while the big one is running on a worker, I can be harvesting with the small one. And that's probably something we're going to do if we do get a harvester on this map, which we're probably going to at some point in time. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the only thing that I'm really kind of missing from not having, GPS and the mods that are available on that. So anyway, I've rambled enough. You guys have seen what I've done. It's clearly planted. We're just rolling it now and getting caught up. So, and we're at time. So I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. Thanks for hanging in there as I had to take a couple of weeks off, but we're back into making videos now, and I'll try to get 1 to 2 out a week. But we'll see what happens. But regardless, I appreciate you guys checking back in as you did. Give it a like if you liked it, thumbs up, I guess, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.